What a nice place to come to. This is Mill Lake. Lots of geese, ducks, different varieties of birds, even fish in this lake, even though it's a man-made lake. I've seen turtles here. It's a nice place to come to, and I know someone else who used to come here who really enjoyed it, and that was my daughter Chelsey. July 27th, tomorrow, it'll be 2 years since someone tragically took her life. And I wanted to take this time to remember her and to update you guys on what's going on with her case. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Chelsey if you don't know her. She was an amazing girl. She had a huge heart. She loved animals, cats, dogs, birds, crows, every animal out there she loved. When she was young and I used to walk her to school, even to kindergarten, she'd see a snail on the ground and she would pick it up and move it over onto the grass so somebody wouldn't step on it. Or a slug. And she loved the, she loved the little bugs that used to stick on the wall. She called them sticky bugs. And she would take one and she'd put it on her hand and she'd have that one on her hand all day. She loved people, and she loved to laugh. She was very adventurous, and man, did she have a talent for photography. She took so many pictures, I would say thousands of pictures of herself, her two little girls, Abigail and Autumn, and her friends, just thousands of pictures. She was very, very artistic. She was only 22 years old when she lost her life. Not even a chance to even get to know what life was. But there's fond memories I have of Chelsey. When she was 2 years old, her other sister, and her brother ended up in my custody because of certain circumstances. I had been separated from their mother, and I didn't like the way things were going where they were living, so I took it into my hands to take care of them permanently. Fond memories of Chelsey. When the other kids were at school, it was just me and her. Everywhere I went, she was with me. There was no daycare, I was a single dad and I was a stay-at-home single dad, and we did struggle. But we had good holidays, we had good times. But there was no way I was going to leave her with a daycare, to leave her with somebody who really didn't love her to take care of her and raise her. That was not going to happen. So I had to make certain sacrifices. But fond memories I have of walking my two kids, Jeremiah and Carrie, to school, and Chelsey with me in the stroller. And once the kids were at school, we'd head back to the apartment. I would clean up, do the dishes, and she'd sit on the TV or sit on the couch and watch her favorite shows on TV. And then we'd go for a walk, maybe go to the park. But we were like this. I changed her diapers, I potty trained her. I just wish I would have taught her a whole lot more. And you know, when tragedy happens and we think, man, what could we have done better? But I'm not going to criticize myself. It was her time. And the more wonderful thing about all of this is that I know I'll see her again. I will see her in heaven again, because I know she believed in God. I know that she was trying. I know she went to Bible studies at one point in time, but then she just got herself involved with things that she shouldn't have. She was hanging around the wrong people. Another fond memory I have of Chelsey, when the kids were in school and it was just me and her and it was payday, I would go to the supermarket with her. And she was such a good kid to go shopping with. She wasn't one of those type of kids that screamed and said, I want, I want, I want. She was very, very calm. And I would reward her of that. 5 minutes in the store, we'd go by the candy aisle, and she loved her Smarties. And I'd bring her in front of the Smartie aisle, or where the Smarties were, and she'd look up at me and look down at the Smartie and look back up at me, and I went, go ahead. And she would take that little box of Smarties. She wouldn't even open them to eat them. She would just sit there and shake them, make the noise, the rattling noise. Kept her busy during the whole time. And I told her too before, you can't open that box until we leave the store because we have to pay for them first. She understood. She wasn't impatient. She was just happy just to be able to shake that box, and she knew she was going to have those Smarties. And a lot of the time she'd wait until she got home and then watch one of her favorite afternoon shows, Arthur. And she would eat her Smarties, and those Smarties would last the whole show easily, and sometimes longer. One of her favorite movies was the Lion King series. Ever since she passed away, I can't listen to any of the music. There was a song Elton John did, and I came on the radio yesterday, and I couldn't listen to it. I had to turn it down. I would have just fell apart completely. I can't really explain what it feels like to lose somebody dear to your heart, let alone a child that you raised yourself. It's a very empty feeling. It's a very sad feeling. But I'm getting through it. And those that watch my trucking videos, they see me on there and they see me happy and they see me reading my Bible and smiling and laughing. I'm not going to bring my viewers down by sitting there and talking negative all the time. I mean, I've done enough of that already. I've lost friends because I've been negative because of all of this. But you know what? It's really difficult to be positive when you've lost somebody that dear to your heart. You see, that little girl, Chelsey, she was 22 years old. There was little things about her that she would do. She would get excited about certain things. She would use certain facial expressions. And I remember I remember myself doing that when I was a kid. And even when I was older, and even now, I would get excited about something and I would go like this or something, and I would see her do that. So with the individual that took her life took a piece of me. When she died, a piece of me died, a piece of my heart, my personality. And I'm just so very, very grateful to have two little girls that are so much like her. Autumn, such a precious girl. And Abigail, which I cannot wait to see those two girls when they're older. I can't wait to see, I don't get to see very much of them right now because they live on Vancouver Island and two dear friends are taking care of them. And you know, I also regret, I think, why am I not taking care of those two little girls, but how would I support them? Daycare is too expensive. It just is, and I'm not going to put my kids in daycare anyway. So how would I work? I'd have to have a job at home. And I really feel like that where I'm supposed to be is where I'm at now, and they're in good hands where they are now. I just hope one day they move back to the Lower Mainland where we can actually see them regularly. One other thing that Chelsey really, really liked, and that was her chocolate milk. I remember teaching her how to drink chocolate milk. And some people might say it's a waste. But I remember buying chocolate milk for her, even when she was like 7 or 8. And I would get her a little chocolate milk, and I said, there's a secret to drinking chocolate milk. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. You drink it as fast as you can and you don't stop until it's all gone. That is the most, how do I say this? That's the best way to get the most flavor out of that drink. I love chocolate milk and she loved chocolate milk. And I remember when she would drink it, she'd drink it so fast it would dribble down her shirt, and she'd stop and put it down. I went, well, was that good? She goes, yeah. As I mentioned before, she really loved animals and she really loved crows. And I remember one time I think she might have been maybe 12, I'm trying to remember, maybe 13. No, I think she might have been 12 or 13 years old. But there was a little crow that was outside, a baby crow, outside of her window. I guess it had fallen out of its nest. And the mom and pop or whoever was up top, crows were just hawking away, and she looked out the window and said, Dad, there's a crow on the ground. Can I go get him? And I said, yeah, we can't leave him out there. The cats will get him. And so we brought him in the house. We had a bird cage. I think we already had a bird cage, or it was some kind of a cage. And we made it real comfortable. She put grass inside. She made it look really homey. And she even put it in the window with the window open so the other crows could see that the little baby was okay. And a few days later, she woke up and the crow was dead. The baby was dead. And she was so upset, she cried. She didn't understand, and I said, dear, sometimes when an animal is handled by a human being, that could cause them to die. And in another case, it could have just been heartbroken or lonely, or there could have been internal damage, we don't know. But I also followed up and said, but we couldn't have left the baby there. We had to take the chance to try to get it to make it better. But I'll never forget that. She just was so heartbroken because she had a crow in her room. She loved crows. I know what Chelsey would say if she was here today with me. If the Lord would let her come and visit with me for a short time, she'd say, Dad, please don't be upset. I know you miss me, and I miss you too, but I'm so happy now. I'm in the glory of, I'm in the presence of God, I'm in glory. So excited to be here, Dad. I can't wait until you see it. And I'm spending time with Grandpa here and with my other relatives, my other family members that have passed on a long time ago and even recent. It's so beautiful up here, Dad. I can't wait for you to see it. Please don't be upset with me. Please don't be upset. And you know, I'm not upset at her. She was involved in some rough stuff, but she didn't deserve this. This wasn't supposed to happen. And I want to share something else with you guys that I haven't shared with anybody but a couple family members. Shortly after she passed away, I was spending time with my friend Wendy. At the time, she was my girlfriend, and she let me hide out in her basement for a couple weeks or a week or whatever it was, because during this whole thing, the media were buzzing. They wanted to talk to me, and I just didn't want to talk to anybody. It was a very rough time for me. And I remember Wendy was out with her daughters doing something, and I was alone, and I decided to go to the store and get a few things. And when I came back, I walked into the house, and then there's a stairwell that would go down into the basement with a glass door, and that's where the basement was. That's where I was staying for a little while. When I walked into the house, I seen a silhouette of a young girl, about her age, maybe even a little bit younger. I'm pretty sure it was her age because she acted just like what Chelsey would do. I came in the door and there was a silhouette of a girl, and she had hair down to here, maybe even a little bit longer, and she jumped up for joy like she was excited. The thing that Chelsey would, this is something Chelsey would do. The silhouette jumped up and got excited and ran down the stairs. And I'm like, Chelsey? It's like she was excited to spend some time with me before she departed. And I went down the stairs and it was so real. I'm like, Chelsey? I went into a couple of the rooms. I really thought she was with me. And I realized that I think when a person passes on, the Lord allows them to go and comfort the one closest to them, even if it's just for 15 seconds. And it showed me she's happy. She jumped up and leaped. She was so excited to see me and ran down the stairs in the basement just because she knew that's where I was staying. And that's the only time I ever seen anything like that. So I know she's happy. But I don't want to spend this entire video sounding depressed. I do want to give you an update too. I talked to the police today. I hit the sergeant that's in charge. Very nice gentleman. His partner was there too. Very nice lady. After the meeting I can't tell you guys really a whole lot of what went on in there. There wasn't a lot said, except what they had to say was very, very encouraging. And I know that they're going to get on top of this, and they're going to take care of this, and they're going to catch this individual or individuals. And I left that meeting feeling a lot more confident that I said flat out, is this a cold case? Because I haven't heard nothing in 2 years, really. And they said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're moving forward. Things are moving forward. And I just need to be patient with them. And also at the meeting was a very nice lady. She's been somewhat counseling me for the last while. Her name is Lovepreet. She works for the victim services at iHead, and she's just an amazing woman. And there are days that I had just so much anger bottled up inside, and God has just given that woman a gift to help calm you down. And even though she couldn't really tell me anything I wanted to know, she was there to listen. And it wouldn't matter what time of the day or night I called, she'd answer her phone. Just an amazing woman. So the RCMP are doing their job, and I really have confidence that they're going to catch who did this. And I just have all the faith in God too that He's going to bring this person to justice, or these people to justice. I will close out with saying, for those of you that knew Chelsey, I can't tell you how important it is for me to tell you that if you knew her and you loved her, if you want to see her again, the only way you're going to see her again is if you're in heaven with her. And if you don't believe in anything, please ask somebody about Jesus, because I don't want to turn this into an evangelistic message, but I am a Christian, and it's my duty to tell those out there that are lost that the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ. And I know family members, I know good friends that want to see her again, and some of them aren't believers, and I've said flat out, you must be born again or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. And that's where my daughter is. And if you want to see her again, you need to learn about Jesus. I didn't know a lot of what Chelsey was doing because a lot of it was hidden from me, from some family members and from some friends. And to this day, I still get very upset at that. Like if someone would have just told me I could have done something about it, and some people say, well, there probably wouldn't have been anything you could have done. And I would have said, yeah, there is. I would have rented a place and made sure she had accommodations. I would have told her, hey, let's go on some road trips together. Me and Chelsey always got along really well, just like how I get along with all my kids. And she would have loved to go on road trips. She would have loved to see the USA. I could have made a difference. I know something, I could have done something. But because I did not know what she was up to, I couldn't have done anything to help her. The point I'm trying to make, if you know somebody in your family, whether it's a son, daughter, or any other family member, or even a close friend, or cousin, and you know that that person is getting themselves involved in some really shady stuff, say something to somebody. Say something to their family. Tell somebody what they're doing. Yeah, you may seem like a rat to that other person, but you could be saving their life. You could be saving their life. Don't be silent. Silence killed my daughter, Chelsey. Don't be silent. I can't say this enough. You could have the same predicament as me. Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen to her. I should have said something. Again, I say, if someone you know, someone close to you, is involved in some trouble, tell somebody. Tell somebody because you love that person. Save their life. Well, my friends, I want to thank you for viewing. Thank you for remembering Chelsey with me. When I have another update, hopefully it'll be soon, you'll be the first to know. So from me, my family, to your family, God bless you all in the name of Yeshua, and thank you again for remembering Chelsey. Bye for now.